What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Bioshock in 2025. Will we get anything? What's going on with this game? Well, I actually did a little bit of digging on their website, and there is one thing with their job postings that I do want to talk about in terms of, small news. You take what you can get with a game such as Bioshock in a studio such as Cloud Chamber. But light up the candles, everyone, because we've officially passed 5 years. Back on, I believe, December 9th, 2019, Bioshock was officially announced, so we are now over 5 years, heading into year 6 of the game being a real thing and having absolutely freaking nothing on this game. It is, I think, one of, if not the worst example. Maybe like Hollow Knight could beat it, and Beyond Good and Evil, I guess, is a good one. But beyond that, Bioshock's probably in the top 3 of just these unbelievable and unreal planning tactics of announcing the game and nothing. Now, I've tried to keep up with this whenever there's anything on this game. I've done videos. So the one thing to, I guess, refresh our memory on, right, is that this game, from artists, websites, and these kind of connections, remember, the game isn't really coming out till like 2028. That is, if you believe, maybe even 2029, by the way, depending on which artist and which website you believe. Normally, when those things happen and they kind of get caught in the way of like people make videos on it, they'll normally take it down. So they're normally not there nowadays. But remember, there was posts in the past of Death Stranding 2 coming out in 2025, and people that work on the game that did artwork for it, or just art in general, when you go on their personal sites and whatnot, sometimes they forget to leave the dates or take the date off. So Bioshock, still, if you go by that, is roughly 3 to 4 years away. Now, you could ask yourself, Alex, how is that possible? And it was announced 5 years ago. I don't know. I think the answer is it probably had to have been canceled or restarted multiple times. I cannot believe that you'd take 9 years or maybe even longer, because I think it was announced in 2019, but the studio, I think, was formed sometime in 2018. So 2018 is the real start date for when this game was in development, and here we are now. So I can't believe it, but my hope of this game coming out 2025 is 0%. 2026 is probably also 0%. Best case scenario I'm thinking right now is like 2027, if not later. And so that lines up with 2028 or 2029. So that's kind of all we got in terms of the refresher thing. Now, one thing I do want to go into just a little bit. So I've tried to keep track every now and then, or, in doing these videos of their jobs, the job postings on their site. Now, I will say one thing, okay? If you're looking at it, I think this is actually far less than you'll normally see, okay? For animation, you got 2. For art, you got like 7. For audio, you got 5. Game design, scripting, you got 2. And producing/management, you got 4. Now, one thing actually that I look at as a major positive, at least for me, I don't know if it's, for the industry, how other people maybe feel about it, there's no writing jobs, okay? So one thing that I have noticed in my time looking at these jobs, and it's still an issue, okay? Because again, if you look at it, senior producer, senior combat designer, senior technical voice designer, lead level artist, senior technical animation designer. So it's a lot, but I will say, just going based off of memory, in past videos, number one, this is not as many jobs as were once open. Now, I look at that as a positive because I assume that a lot of the jobs that they had, I want to say they had 30 plus jobs open last time we talked about it. I think it was like 33 or 35. It's no longer that, right? So I'm going to assume positively that they filled those jobs. Also, when it comes to leads and seniors, there were a lot of leads. Everything needed a lead person, 6 months ago, a year ago. And yes, there is still a lot of them, but not all of them. It's maybe around half, and it's also less jobs in general, and there's no writing. And the writing to me is at least something, right, where it's like, okay, at least they maybe have the writers locked in. And because, if you're still hiring for lead writers when you're supposed to be God knows how long into your game development, who's writing it? And so that's what I look at when I think of, well, is it stalled? Like, has it been canceled and restarted in the past? Or how long did it take them to really build back up over these last couple of years? Well, if they need all of these lead people, they don't have them. Well, like, how do you make I'd have to ask somebody, how do you make a game when you're looking for like 25 leads of studios? If you have no leads, who's to lead the teams, right? So what do you do in the meantime? And the answer, I believe, generally is not a lot that really advances the actual game development. So I do look at this as a positive. I do think this is good momentum. No writers and less leads or senior positions, meaning that I think they have people that can actually hold down the fort and do something with it. So I don't know. I guess one other thing, I had a thought in my head when I hit record that I just wanted to float out there. If we're trying to be optimistic, okay, the game is not coming out in 25, like I said, not coming out, I think, in 26, even if it comes out in 27 or even 28, okay? So we're looking 2 to 3 years ahead, which is actually a little crazy that you're thinking 2 years from now is 2027. That's nuts. But, okay, if you're looking that the game comes out 2, 3, maybe 4 years if we're living in the worst timeline possible, this is probably when you could hope to get a trailer. Now, I'm long past the point of expecting anything, but at the Game Awards 2025, right, a year from now, okay, you're going into 2026. Could you see a trailer for this game? Because if you show a trailer for this game at the end of 25, even if the game doesn't come out for 2 or 3 years, that's pretty in line. Jeff Keighley just showed a trailer for a game that didn't even have a name, right, from the maker of Eco Shadow of the Colossus. That game is nothing right now. Okami 2 is not even, it's starting development right now. So it's not like he doesn't show games that are literally nothing. There's no game there, and yet he shows it anyway, which is, I get it. It's fine. It's fun. It's whatever. So Bioshock should have something. It really should. You should be able to show like tangible things in the game. Could you show it at the end of this year? I think this is the first year that you start to think that this is possible. If everything's still in line, if this game somehow, for the love of God, slips to like a 2030, 2031 type, if we're really going to go there, then okay, yeah, I guess we still have to wait more years. But if this game is still like a 2028 thing, that's 3 years out. That's still a lot. It's pathetic that that's the word. It's pathetic that it's taken this long and will continue to take long. It's inexcusable, in my opinion. However, if you are going to excuse it just for a second, this really is probably the first year that you can say, all right, maybe you can actually get something this time because we're getting somewhat closer. So that is one thing, just optimistically, I wanted to throw into this video. We'll see if anything happens. Right now, I'm expecting exactly nothing, but maybe at the very end of 2025, you get something for this game. So let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.